Welcome back to Krown's Crypto Cave. No live stream today, as I really wanted to make a concerted effort to really focus this video down on the very important things, because we actually do have a pretty damn big week coming up here, even though things do seem really dull and really lulling right now, but it's lulling everyone, myself included, into a false sense of confidence. Also, I'll be showing a Testnet account for derivative options so that I can show how I'd actually be trading this current environment with options, as I unfortunately do not have access to that any longer. And more importantly, with that, we can get now onto the Krown chain application, which we found at app.krown.net. And what do you know? What do we see over here? We see pretty much all the same things. In fact, Bitcoin dominance still 45.5%. Fear and Greed Index did pop up 5 points, which is rather interesting, as Bitcoin put it in another lower high. Once again, who knows what the fuck that's all about. And we also got a sale going on as well alongside the crypto sale, so you can get your cryptos 50 to 70% off if you so desire. And then we also got a sale going on over here. But in a more sincere tone, I want to definitely advise: do not rush into any one of these programs. I will probably swing back at the end of this video if there's still enough time to kind of explain them. But if you are going to go check them out, make sure that you watch the promo videos that accompany them, because they're going to explain who they're for, who they're not for, so that you don't waste your time or money, more importantly. Anyways, with that said, what do we see as far as anything else goes over here? Nothing important. Let's go into the market data tab, and I imagine there's very little new things here as well. This is actually rather interesting. We do see that global funding rate is slightly positive right now, which is, again, this is very inconsequentially positive, but within the context of a downtrend, you do have to realize that shorts are being essentially paid to hold their positions. So I would say this is a little bit more on the bear side, obviously, and of course, global exchanges net flows also positive as well. So people are putting their coins on exchange. Why would they be doing that? So they can buy more coins, right? So they can buy more altcoins. That's exactly right. Anyways, nothing bearish will be spoken about on this channel. We're only going to be talking about bullish shit today. Anyways, just kidding. Let's go into the price action charts themselves, and let's talk about yesterday's price action really quickly. So yesterday on the live stream, I did say if Bitcoin could close above the yellow 21 exponential average, which is about 34,400-ish region, I would be looking for a rally somewhere between about 36, 37,000 bucks overall, with potential to continue more into the 40s. That obviously did not happen, and we came back after the 12-hour close, the midday close essentially, and said this is extremely unlikely to happen. So what would I be looking for now? Well, we started to see hidden bearish divergence being confirmed on the 4-hour, and I believe even the 12-hour as well. Yeah, or actually no, we did not see it on the 12-hour, but we certainly did see it on the 4-hour on both spot and CME, and we did see a few of the things that did suggest a bit of a downside bias alongside our short-term jewel oscillator going on right here too. So with that in mind, we did see that move well, essentially transact, and we are back down at the low side of the range once again. And if we throw in our drawn tools right here, we can come up with the next sort of set of interesting areas, of which we're currently on right now. So does Bitcoin bounce from here on the very short-term timeframes? Perhaps yes. I think anywhere up to wherever the 10 simple is on the daily is fair game, which is 33.7 in some odd change, so that is fair game. And there is one, or sorry, let me get through this thought first. So if we are going to be looking for continuation to the downside from this region right here, which I do think probably does get a chance to bounce first, but again, my opinion is irrelevant on this, and I would not be trading this. I'll be trading options on this on my Testnet fucking account, because that's the best that I can do right now. I'd be either looking for a 4-hour dollar closure on new lows, that's below about 32.8, I believe, or a wick lower than this wick low right here, which is 32.255. And I'd be looking for another $1,000 to $2,000 move to the downside, basically somewhere down around 31 to 31.5 region right here. That's essentially what I'd be looking for, again, if that does indeed happen, where momentum also is positioned right now. I mean, I would say that we've certainly seen the majority, or all of the 4-hour hidden bearish divergence already play out right there. I think that we're probably getting ready for a short-term time frame bounce, whether you're bullish or bearish. But more importantly, I want to bring it back on over to the daily over here. And while I have been talking about some bearish things today and yesterday, I would say that there is one, I suppose, I guess maybe hopium-induced thing for the Bullish right here, and that would be this. That would be, of course, now that Bitcoin has confirmed another lower high, which is extremely not fucking bullish, by the way. That means that we can. That means that once again, just like Bernie Sanders says, once again we can move down the point of continuation for a bit of a daily trend reversal here, or at least the etchings of it, from 35,000 bucks now to yesterday's confirmed high, which is 34 and 250. It looks like, and of course it's been slowly moved down. We had, of course, 41,000 bucks over here, rejection. Then we had 36,000 bucks right here, rejection. Then we had 35 right here, rejection, and now once again we have about 34,400 and some odd change as our next local high. So as long as that is in place, I would be essentially looking for a trend continuation. Now this is, starting to get very, 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 very heated right here as far as volatility goes, because things have been contracted so much. We are very likely looking for a resolution, I think, later this week, maybe early next week. The reason why I say that is because we have a big event coming up. We have the GBTC unlock. A few people have asked my opinion on the GBTC unlock and what it kind of means. And look, I haven't really been following the whole rigmarole of it all that much, but I did a little bit of research into it just because I was asked, and there's something pretty damn obvious to me. It's either a complete wash, meaning that it's going to be irrelevant, it's going to be neutral, or it would be slightly bullish. But look, understand that when you're looking at GBTC, you're typically talking about, you know, professional accredited investors for the most part. Those are the guys who are like really playing that one up, because that's probably the closest thing that they can find to like a Bitcoin ETF that's somewhat regulated right now, at least I think. Anyways, more importantly with that, what I would say is that with that in mind, you have to realize that GBTC is currently trading at a discount. So if GBTC is trading at a discount, how are you going to offset your losses, assuming that you are, well, holding that GBTC? You know, assuming that you're in GBTC and you are going to experience this unlock coming in, I believe on Sunday, by the way, which also kind of lines up with that date for resolution of this. Well, I would say that you're very, 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 very likely going to be managing your risk by doing what? By buying the spot underline. You're not going to fucking sell GBTC at a major discount. That's not the way that you hedge your positions. And for anyone wondering, you know, look, if you're in a traditional market, you know, you're going to have a risk manager. At least that's what I had when I was working in a firm. And they're going to absolutely wrangle you to death if you just have unlimited risk on one side of the trade. Doesn't matter what's the upside or the downside, but especially to the downside. So in this case right here, it's either a wash, it's going to be neutral. You know, those people already hedged off, or they already took their arbitrage, or it's going to be potentially a little bit of a short-term bullish thing, perhaps. We'll see. At the end of the day, price action matters most to myself, and it's very, very simple right here. Again, as long as we're operating on lower highs, it's not necessarily bullish. As long as we are not operating on higher lows, also not bullish. And seeing as what would have been a potential higher low right here has been completely negated by coming all the way back down to it, you know, have to kind of lean on the side of bearishness right here. Moving averages are, of course, all in a bearish posturing, and these ones have actually been doing a damn good job of getting the major moves down, actually keeping you all the way short from about 56,000 bucks all the way down to kind of where we're at right here, and then another sort of opportunity right here. And once again, we do see all lower periods trading below higher periods, and they all have negative slopes. So pressure is onto the downside. And I forgot to, I always like to kind of start off with this, but of course we do see that BBWP, our volatility-based indicator, is currently at 1.59 percentile. And that is quite literally the lowest that we have seen since, where was this right here? Since October 2020. And realistically, all these situations where we've seen it this low have produced, you know, 30% move on, you know, minimum, all the way up to, you know, multiple 100% of moves. But to just kind of give you an idea of what we're very likely looking at, well, when was the last time we actually saw it even low like this? I mean, it was precipitating this high right here, and that was actually about a 30% downside move. But this was actually a little bit higher than where we're at right now. In fact, to give you an idea, this was 6.75 percentile. Compare that with the 0 percentile over here, basically, which led into the move from about 10,000 to 20,000 bucks. So that's about a 90% move right there from signal given to next major high without any major pullback, essentially. And we have a few other iterations other than that are within the field of view right here. This one right here would be a 35% move to the upside. Do we have another one right? Yep, we just got that one actually. Do we have another one right here? Yes, indeed we do. And this was almost 50% move to the upside as well. There are several examples in the history of Bitcoin, but we're very likely looking at, you know, 30% minimum move, I do believe, coming up in the next week here, maybe even all the way up to 50%. And if you're just to do a bit of mental math right here, if that comes to the downside, we're probably looking at, you know, 24 to 20,000 bucks. And if it comes to the upside, we're probably looking at, you know, 40 to 45,000 bucks, I think it's like 43 to 50,000 bucks, something like that. Now, of course, it's kind of difficult to talk about upside as long as we're, you know, operating on these lower highs once again. But what I do want to talk about is the options trades that I put on over here. And again, I want to be very, very specific with this. This is the Testnet account. This is not a real account. Let me just go show the little Testnet moniker right here. There we go. Okay, this derivative Testnet is not real. Okay, I don't have a fucking derivative account. And what I do have is a derivative Testnet account, which I can maybe live vicariously through other people. And what have I done over here? Well, I've tried to get into some positions. Now, disregard the P&L. Yes, it is rather nice, but I should explain, these are probably just wide marks. This is not like that real right here. But what I've done is I've gone out to next week's expiration, and I've essentially bought the 30 to 38 strangle right here, buying the, well, I actually haven't gotten filled fully on my $38,000 strike calls, but fair enough. The reason why I picked these strikes is because they pretty much are where I would be looking for on a mega breakout, and it's relatively cheap right now, so that's why I did it. So I essentially bought a strangle right there. And I'd like to get filled on the call side too, but more importantly, I have gotten already filled on the put side, which is probably the better side to be on right now, all things considered. Anyways, then what I did is I did something relatively similar on the next quarterlies. Actually, these are September regulars right here. And what I did was I bought the 3236 strangle, and then I sold the 1764 strangle against it to reduce costs in this case. So I actually got some pretty damn good prices over here. which was rather nice because again, this is testnet, so the liquidity is kind of an issue for the most part. You kind of have to go fishing a little bit, but you can make it work, I suppose. Anyways, with that said, we'll just see how these positions kind of evolve over time, but I do like them for that reason. And again, the reason why I picked these strikes right here in this expiration is because that is where I do look at major breakouts, and more importantly, it's coming in within the next 2 weeks, or next week, Friday essentially. So we're probably going to have the event within there, and if we are going to expect volatility from there, well, then this was kind of just cheap options as far as I'm concerned. And this is also a reason why I do think that it's relatively it's relatively useful to know even just like the basis of technical analysis when trading options. Yeah, you don't need to know technical analysis to trade options. I know several very successful options traders who don't use any technical analysis at all. They just do volatility plays, that is. Anyways, the reason why I chose these right here is just because these are obvious breakout points. Above or below there, looking for a continuation of move. So I'm happy to pay a bit of premium on top of that. Anyways, back to the price action charts we go, and let's see what else we got going on right now. It should be noted that, should it be noted? Let's see where the volume profile is right now. Yep, volume profile still in the same area. We do see the point of control right below $36,000. So technically speaking, if you want to go buy the book, you're probably looking for a closure above this region first, or just even a wick higher than what we saw on the 29th of June right here. And then I would be looking for a continuation onto the top side of the range, somewhere around $40,000 to $41,000, with the stop along the way, very likely wherever the 55 is, which is actually clawing down below $38,000 now, which is fucking nasty, man. Super nasty. Let me just make sure that my microphone's working. The video is recording. It is. Good. Okay, nice one. Doing that 10 minutes into the video. Really good job, Krown. Anyways, what else did I want to talk about here? I mean, there's not too many profound things to talk about on price action right now. I mean, it's more or less the same. Let's see. What about the 2-day? What does this one look? It looks like shit. 3-day, actually 2-day just confirmed hidden bearish, or sorry, it's not confirmed hidden bearish divergence just yet, but it will if we close anywhere here or lower. And yes, that would make me quite comfortable looking for another move down to about $31,000. I still wouldn't call a full-on breakdown just yet, but if we do start to close below about $31,000 on a daily specifically, I would extend targets to short term to about $37,000 actually. So let's actually see. Do I have this one marked off on this chart? No, I don't. Let's actually mark it off right here. All right, there we go. Come on. Where's my 37-ish region? It's going to be right around here is what I'd be looking for. And probably another short-term bounce right there. And then do we find ourselves all the way down at the 2400 level right here, as Bitcoin did spend about a week consolidating right there, perhaps? Yes. And then the big one, obviously about $19,500. Should be denoted that the daily jewel, which should have a chance to lose its downside signal right here yesterday, did not happen. Obviously, when Bitcoin closed below $34,000, that was kind of the precipice, or sorry, that was kind of the lead-in factor for that, and it remains with, well, still downward sloping and not good. Anyways, I'm curious what the 4-hour says right here. The 4-hour is actually really cracking through right there. What about the hourly? Short term, oh man, that actually is kind of nasty. Yes, this technically is a bounce signal right here, but it's already pretty mature, and this one did get the low, or just right after the low right there, and that's from about 32.8 all the way to 33.150 or so, and already curling back down. So we're probably going to get at the very least white right here, which is trendless, and then, well, if that starts to turn down once again, then we're very likely going to break this area, and I'd be looking for another run at $32,000 rather quickly, maybe another short-term bounce there, and then continuation very likely implied to 31.5 and 31,000 bucks respectively. Hourly could even print hidden bearish divergence with any sort of a close. In this case, this would be any sort of a close below 33,000 bucks. That's coming in 27 minutes and 10 seconds, so do be aware of that. And what else did I want to talk about right here? What else did I want to talk about? Let's see. Okay, yeah, let's actually bring on this. So I want to bring back the Gaussian channel right here. I think that this is a really, really interesting indicator. And I want to give a massive shout out to Donovan Wall on TradingView. This guy's a fucking monster, man. This guy's a total beast with the coding. Absolutely amazing. He has a slew of different indicators that are just incredibly unique. He had the Monte Carlo indicator that I showed, I think, over the weekend. Very fucking interesting stuff. But anyways, the Gaussian channel right here, kind of an interesting concept. I won't go over the full rigmarole of this, but I'll kind of talk about how you can use it in practical application. Basically, when price action is above the top side band of this, if you want to call it that, we're essentially in trending mode, obviously bullish, and vice versa for when you're below the bottom side right and over here. However, when you start to close, in this case, I'll give you an example right here. When you start to close below the top side band, you typically will come and test the median, maybe bounce there, and then continue with trend. But if you do fail it, at the very least, you do get get a test to the bottom side? Oh, extremely fucking often. And then if you break it, well, there's your trend reversal right there. And this one actually did not get the, so we called a reversal right around here at about just below 57,000 bucks as soon as this was confirmed as a local high, as we did get, high, low, and this was a lower low, by the way, comparison to this low, and then we had a lower high right there. Hey, there's a fucking downtrend, right? Anyways, you can see that this is now coming in basically right at yesterday's confirmed high. So as long as we're below there, it essentially lines up with the trend as well. So, essentially as long as we're below there, I am, well, it's hard to be bullish. So, fair enough. Fair enough. I'm trying to come up with some hopium right here. I can come up with some hopium actually. We'll do a little bit of that. Have you heard that Apple is going to buy $2 billion worth of Bitcoin? It's a fucking rumor. I think just some big crypto Twitter account made that up, and there you go. Anyways, if we were to close back above this region, which again is just yesterday's high, essentially about 34 and 250 or so, I would look for a run back up to about 39,000 bucks, and that would essentially probably flip me to looking for a long-term, or maybe not long-term longs, but like a medium-term long, and that probably is going to be your run into like the mid-low $40,000 territory at the very least. But for right now, again, all momentum oscillators are pointing in the opposite direction. It's not looking fucking good. Okay, cool. So let's go back on over here. This is the other one hopium I can give you. By the way, this is an indicator that I'm playing around with. This is essentially advanced decline ratio. This is something that I use a lot in traditional markets, and I've just kind of newly discovered it in Bitcoin land. But so I'll have more stuff to kind of present with that over time. Anyways, the one hopium that I could give you, if you want to call this hopium, would be, of course, the hash ribbons indicator right on over here. Now, why do I call this hopium? Well, because we saw that very historical relationship between all of these blue buy signals and confirming the prior low to those blue buy signals as, the macro low before never essentially going back down there again. Sometimes you get a test around there. In fact, you pretty much actually always get a test around there. But all of these 11 iterations have fulfilled that criteria. All of them except for one. That would be this one over here in December 2019. You can see that we did put in a blue buy signal, which admittedly actually was lower than the next one. But you can see that price action did obviously, do the whole $10,000 to $4,000 dumbola in between there. So not necessarily the best, the best one right there, but all the other ones essentially were confirming macro lows before that. And if we were to run with that assumption, which again, it's not perfect, obviously, black swans do happen, and well, they do happen. I mean, that's nothing more needs to be said. We do see the last blue buy signal was coming in where? Came in right around here at about 1st of December, actually. And the last higher low that we had before that blue buy signal was just right here at 17,000 bucks. So what I can say is that if Bitcoin does break down, highly unlikely that we do go below 17,000 bucks. Maybe that makes you feel good. I don't know. But fair enough. We can come as close to 17,000 bucks as possible, though. I think at most probably like 19 to 20,000 bucks. But again, even if I am looking for a downside break here, in a more sincere tone, I want to be very, 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 very clear about this. I would really not be looking for like a mega downside move until we close either daily below about 31,000 bucks in this case. Yeah, I'd say about 31,000 bucks. I'd look for a quick move somewhere just below 27,000 bucks. Very likely a bounce there along this area right here. And then, we'll see if that one reclaims a range. Maybe there, there's some more hopium for you perhaps, but sorry. So it just sounds awful now. Or what? What's the other thing? Well, just bounce and then more downside. So fair enough. We'll take it one step at a time. I don't want to get in the topics of doom or gloom right now. So I just think that all of the big YouTube accounts and all of the people, I think they're called reply guys on Twitter, the people with an opinion who are very vocal about it and sometimes rather rude, we can say. Sometimes you find them in YouTube comments as well, who have been calling like mega upside, saying we're still in a bull market, it's definitely a bull market, or we're definitely in a bear market, we're definitely going down to 15,000 to 10,000, fuck you, Krown, have all been wrong. And, for what it's worth, the one thing that I'm extremely proud about in the last 2 months of this consolidation, that I think that we've been calling in this channel rather well in comparison to, we don't even need to compare ourselves to other people. That's just silly. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. But more importantly with that, is that the most likely thing in this area right here was sideways. I think Elio Trades does a really good job of communicating that as well. It's like, look, whether you're bullish or bearish, it's probably going to take a long fucking time. Look, if you're bullish, you're probably still not looking at any sort of like mega upside move, at least in my opinion, until maybe later in summer. And if you're bearish, you're probably looking for it in the next like couple weeks, I'd say, perhaps even this week. So with all of that in mind, yes, there is still downside pressure on. We do see ranges rather obviously, and with with that said, I think I can maybe leave you there. It's about 20 minutes long in this video. So I think we'll end it right there. We don't need to go back into the programs. Again, just watch the promo videos. They're going to explain who they're for, who they're not for, and make sure that you have the time to actually, invest in those programs if you're going to go with a TA or options program, because they're, rather long and it takes a lot of concerted effort, and they are, of course, going to, usually take about a year to a year and a half in my experience, or at least from watching people go through them, in order to get like actually where you want to be for the most part. Some people never get there too. I mean, it's not a fucking magic pill, obviously, as there is not, there's not equality of effort, and some people, I mean, just they don't care as well, and that's fair enough. Everyone's free to do what they want to do. Okay, so with all of that said, is there anything over here I wanted to talk about? Not really. Let's see, did daily Stokes turn back down? Well, they're just remaining to the downside as long as below 34. Should be denoted that weekly Stokes are pretty much at the lowest level that we've seen since like 2019. But they continue with the downside as long as below 37. Is a 5-day closing today? No, it's not. I believe it's closing on CME actually. And where is that one? That one could have a chance to close to the upside if we do close above 34.5, and that would actually be pretty damn good. So 34.5, big pivot, at least for myself. Still, if Bitcoin does close above 34, let's just call it 4, 34.5. You want to make it a little bit easier for a nice round even number. I would look at that as as a good signal that Bitcoin very likely does start its its attack towards the $40,000 territory, maybe even more. But for right now, it's pressure on, obviously, and realistically, while I do think that Bitcoin is more or less going sideways here, I'd still kind of wait until resolution. If you're looking at the lower term timeframes, I do not think that this is the time to be trading spot right now. To be 100% abundantly clear, again, Bitcoin can very easily bounce up a few $100 right here, not really change all that much. It can obviously come down another $1,000, and it's like, all right, you can trade that obviously, but with this volatility expansion coming in, we're probably going to be looking at, a pretty fucking mega move. So I would be, if you don't have access to options like I do not, I would be waiting for the easier trades at least. And that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. I haven't really made a trade this week. Yeah, I have not made a trade this week. I barely even made one last week. Fair enough. So with that said, I want to wish you well once again. Take care, and until next time.